that bid gonna be closed when you get here. Um, but now Tariq he's trying to infect this beautiful movie, which I recommend you guys all go watch it. I gave it a 10 out of 10. Has everything. It'll make you laugh, it'll make you cry, it'll make you want to stand up and cheer. But just like a cancer, just like a parasite, Tariq Nasheed and FBA seek to latch themselves on to anything successful because every single thing they attempt to do turns into a miserable failure. So Tariq is all over Twitter right now celebrating the fact that the director of this movie, Sinners, Ryan Coogler, referenced FBA in an interview that he did recently about the Sinners movie. Let me make this smaller because this is just a picture. And I'm going to show you the reference that Tariq clipped out, all 9 seconds of it. And then I'm going to play you what Ryan Coogler actually said in its totality. And what I seek to do here is to expose how Tariq Nasheed engages in deception
in America,
to make you think that his hate cult, FBA, is actually gaining traction, to make you think that the people of the United States, Ryan Coogler actually said this movie Sinners, Ryan Coogler referenced FBA to do turns into a miserable failure. So Tariq is all over Twitter right now celebrating the fact that the director of this movie, Sinners, Ryan Coogler, referenced FBA in an interview that he did recently about the Sinners movie. Let me make this smaller because this is just a picture. And I'm going to show you the reference that Tariq clipped out, all 9 seconds of it. And then I'm going to play you what Ryan Coogler actually said in its totality. And what I seek to do here is to expose how Tariq Nasheed engages in deception
in America,
to make you think that his hate cult, FBA, is actually gaining traction, to make you think that the people of the United States are actually recognizing this nonsense, as opposed to the reality. People are using the term FBA because they've heard it on the internet and they truly do not understand all that is entailed in using that term. Do you think that Ryan Coogler knows that to even say you are FBA means that you have some type of hatred for where you came from? Do you think Ryan Coogler knows that the goofies known as FBA are actually divided among their own ranks? A quarter of them think that they native indigenous Indians, Choctaws, Cherokees, and everything else. Another quarter of them think they came from on a spaceship and was dropped off here by the Anunnaki. A quarter of them think that they never been to Africa and they descended from Europe and anywhere other than Africa, Turtle Island or something like that. And then another quarter of them believe that the earth is flat and some other nonsense, and they are the descendants of the Nephilim or whatever. These guys, when I tell you these people, they all use the same term, but they all use the same term, but when it comes to their trajectory, they're all on different paths. When it comes to what they actually believe behind the term, beyond the term FBA, man, these people are all over. They don't know. They're more confused now than they were when they adopted the term FBA. Because before they were just a bunch of black people who hated themselves. They were disgusted by their own African identity. Now, it's basically a safe haven or a rest haven for black self-haters. If you want to be anything but black, come over here. I'm talking about, I've heard FBAs claim their white blood while openly rejecting their African blood, saying they're not African. They didn't descend from Africa. They ain't got nothing to do with Africa. And you guys have all heard it. You guys have all heard it. If you know, you know. These people are willing to be humiliated online repeatedly. They would rather be humiliated online repeatedly than admit that they even have a single drop of African blood in them. So when you hear, and Tawiq Nasheed, he throws rocks and he hides his hand, right? And he doesn't want to admit that he has created an anti-black, anti-African hate cult. But he does stuff like what he's gonna do with this clip, which makes it obvious that he is day to day working to convince black people in America, African American people, to separate from their African identity and, like him, try to cling a little bit closer to their European identity, which they don't have one. He wants them to separate from their African identity to make themselves more acceptable to white folk and other races. That's what this is about. If you want to know why Tariq's doing what he's doing, Tawiq is doing the same thing that the old plantation house nigga used to do. He wants to throw off his African identity because he thinks once he gets rid of that, it will bring him closer to white folks. It will endear him to these good old white folks. But I'm telling you, Tawiq, I know you're watching. He watches this show. I know you're watching. Tawiq, the Bible says that if your brother commits a sin against you, first go to him and try to show him the error in his ways. So I'm going to do that first before I get into this whole thing. Tawiq, listen to me. Listen to me, brother. The man tried to sue me. He tried to get a restraining order on me, but I still call. He's still my brother. Sometimes you got to love somebody in spite of themselves. I'm going to love my brother in spite of himself today. Tawiq, listen to me. Tawiq, we gave them our labor in the field as slaves. No, let's go back to Africa. We sold them, our brothers, our sisters, our children, our mothers. I mean, there are literally African kings who sold their own mothers into slavery. This is true. We gave them our flesh and blood as slaves in Africa. We fed them, we clothed them, we made sure they survived. They took us as slaves to America. When we got to America, we worked their fields for free, Tawiq. We worked up in their houses for free, Tawiq. We gave them our women for free, Tawiq. They came and took our women, and we didn't put them to death. Master gets sick, the slaves then revolted and string his ass up. We nursed him back to health. Tawiq, our women nursed their babies on their own titty and kept them alive. We gave them our sons for war. We gave them our economy. We gave them the Negro League. We gave them our black neighborhoods. We gave these people everything, Tawiq. Everything we had to give, we've given to white folks. Why do you believe that if we just give them a little bit more, they gonna accept us and welcome us in? It ain't nothing left to give. We've given them our children. We letting them abort our children by the millions. 60-something million black babies aborted since the 1960s just because white folks said that'll be good for us. Now we so hard up, we trying to give them our damn identity. We've given up everything to get closer to these people, and they still are not gonna accept us. Why is this damn fool telling us, well, if you just become a little bit less African, that's gonna make you acceptable to the white man? We moved into their neighborhoods and left our own. We gave them our businesses and started shopping in theirs. That was desegregation. Guys, at this point, if they ain't accepted you by now, they ain't never gonna accept you. And now we saying, oh, let's throw away our black identity so they would finally turn around and give us something. They're never gonna do it. That was my appeal to this dude. Nothing that he probably doesn't already know. Now I got to cut you. This guy, Tariq Nasheed, is literally claiming that because Ryan Coogler used the term FBA, that he is somehow validating the existence of FBA, and that means that FBA is now a major player on the political scene. Bro, FBA done been to Congress. FBA done been to city council meeting all over America. There are FBA cult members who have even been elected to political office in local election. You still ain't got them reparations, boy. So do you think that because Ryan Coogler said FBA, all of a sudden, oh, that means we gonna get reparations? That's not what that means. That means that Tariq is going to be able to use Ryan Coogler saying that to manipulate some dumb-ass celebrity worship Negro into giving him more money. Well, there must be legitimate because Ryan Coogler said it. Ryan Coogler is a movie director who works for white people and probably gave his ass cheeks up just to get that opportunity. His name and his word don't carry no damn weight. He is an amazing director, but I would be remiss if I did not point out the fact that he only has one actor who works in all of his movies. Have y'all noticed that? The only thing he did where the main character wasn't Michael B. Jordan was Black Panther. And that's run by Disney. And that's some bull crap. The second one, I love the first one. The second one was beautiful. But let me play what Ryan Coogler said, since now he's being touted as the new Messiah by Tariq. Because, why? Do you notice that everybody Tariq tells you to worship is somebody who has been accepted and lifted up by white folks? Tariq, when you gonna tell us, look, Malik Shabazz said FBA or some super blackity black pro-black person? Let's tap into this. The deception.
The culture is a story primarily about Africans in America. If you know the history of the foundation of Black Americans, the culture is a story primarily about Africans.
Why would you clip out 9 seconds of that interview and not just play the whole interview, or 10 or a minute, right? So people can understand the context. But even in the 9-second clip, Ryan Coogler shows that he is far more intelligent than FBA because he acknowledges that we are Africans. He said this story is about Africans in America, and that's what we are. Whether you like it or not, you're not indigenous, you not native, you ain't Choctaw, you ain't no damn Cherokee, you're none of those things. Ryan Coogler, as far as he has gone, understands you are nothing more than an African who has been transplanted to America. And because you became citizens of this country, because the white man granted you citizenship, you are now a group known as African Americans. He even says it. I'm gonna play it again. He says it, but then I'm gonna play you the longer version of this clip where he goes into detail and he gets specific about where your ass is from.
in America, if you know the history of foundational Black Americans, you know, look at the culture is a story primarily about Africans. In America, if you know the history of foundational Black Americans, you know, look at the culture is a story primarily about Africans.
Look at the poster of the story. It's primarily about Africans. Africans in America. I played it 3 times for the goofballs in the back. Oh, don't worry. Hey, y'all drop those super chats. We gonna open this up to a panel discussion because I see some FBA goofies in the comments already, and I want to let you guys up. I want you guys to explain this to me. Maybe I am an idiot. I'm gonna let y'all up so y'all can explain it to me. Point it out to me, player. Drop those super chats because we gonna be here. Y'all drop super chats. I stay here long. Let's make an arrangement. Let's make an agreement. So Tariq, he tries to deceive by posting the 9 seconds in. But you know the internet is undefeated. Y'all know that. So someone came after Tariq did try to do his deception. And Tariq, oh, the Sinners movie was great. Oh, it's an excellent movie. That's why I know Ryan Coogler is way too smart to fall for this stupidity. That's why Tariq has to take his words and try to misrepresent what the brother said. So someone posted on this, and this person I think is, this person says, Yavo 1986, says, this is the full video, by the way. Ryan said, if you know the history of FBAs, it actually comes from West Africa. So he is connecting African Americans to West Africa. This fool cut the West African part to make it look like Ryan is as delusional as him. Someone said, does he owe you royalties for commercially using that phrase you trademarked? Tariq don't even own the phrase FBA. For the pretendians that only heard FBA, he begins by saying, if you look at the poster, it's a story mainly about the history of Africans in America. Then he goes on about FBA. In a nutshell, he agrees Black Americans are the descendants of Africa. 100%. And Africans are the descendants of Black Americans because many of us went back to Africa when slavery ended. Listen to me. We're gonna play what we don't need these people to even explain for Ryan because Ryan Coogler is intelligent and he could speak for himself.
I haven't heard that one.
Really?
White twins?
Yeah, white twins.
Yeah, I haven't gotten that one.
Culture is a story primarily about Africans. In America, you know, the history of foundational Black Americans come from West Africa, right? In Nigeria, there is a deity, twin deity, in Yoruba religion. You know, Yoruba people over-indexing the birth rate of fertility.
He's literally telling you, listen to how deep the bro got. The reason why he used twins in the movie Smoke and Stack is because they are basically a reiteration of the twin deities in the Yoruba culture. The whole movie about Africa. Let me let the bro, I'm gonna start over so y'all can hear what bro had to say totally about it. Listen closely, please. We're learning now. We're learning. Hey, I'm gonna let my daughter listen to this too. Samira, come here. Hey, because I know my daughter didn't know about this. I want you to listen to this. You know when we watched the movie Sinners? Oh, this is my baby. Oh, she's so good. You remember we watched the movie Sinners, right? Okay. Do you know Ryan Coogler is explaining why he used twins in that movie? So I'm gonna let you hear. This is deep. It's good stuff.
Actually, I haven't heard that one.
Really?
White twins?
Yeah, white twins.
Yeah, I haven't gotten that one.
Culture is a story primarily about Africans. In America, if you know the history of foundational Black Americans come from West Africa, right? In Nigeria, there is a deity, twin deity, in Yoruba religion. You know, Yoruba urban people over-indexing the birth rate of fraternal twins. It's a thing that we reckon with. And I was born into, personally, I was born into a family that's
Actually, I haven't heard that one.
Really?
what, bi twins.
Yeah, white
Yeah,
twins.
I haven't gotten that one.
Look, the culture is a story primarily about Africans in America. If you know the history of the foundational Black Americans come from West Africa, right? In Nigeria, there is a deity, a twin deity in the Yoruba religion. You know, Yoruba people over-indexing the birth rate of fraternal twins. It's a thing that we reckon with. And I was born into, personally, I was born into a family that's
Actually, probably not.
That's crazy, right? Even Michael B. Jordan, the star of the movie, didn't even know. He said, I ain't never even heard that part. So listen. The truth